welcome to my channel. Well, the other day I had this Bowie, not this one, this Bowie, and I was walking around and there was a big empty box that used to hold a flat screen TV sitting outside of the trash can, and I couldn't resist, So I took my knife out and I started throwing it, at the cardboard box, and I thought I was recording it, but it didn't take on the video. I didn't hit the button right, and I wasn't recording. But anyways, later on I was talking to the maintenance guy, and he said I scared somebody. There was a woman in a car right there next to me. It's got dark tinted windows. I don't know what she does, if she sleeps in there or something, because I've seen her get in on the passenger side, and she lives in these apartment complexes. But anyway, she said that she asked the maintenance guy if she noticed this guy who walks around, and he really scared her because he pulled out a big knife, and he was stabbing the cardboard or slashing the cardboard with it, and she was afraid to get out. Now, this is a Bowie knife, right? So is this. Which one would you be more intimidated by? The big one, possibly, but you know what? We're in our own little world, in the knife world. Most people don't carry knives. I think most people. I don't know what the statistics are, but I think there's less people carrying knives nowadays than there used to be. And this knife, it's the intimidation factor. For people that don't know knives and stuff, actually this one, I'd feel better with this one if I had to use it in self-defense than this one, because this guy's heavy and not easy to wield around. And guess what really counts? Cutting. The cutting edge and the cutting. If you look at this Bowie's only got it by about an inch or so as far as cutting length. Yeah, he's got a lot more belly, but depending on what you're cutting, you may not need it. This weight comes in handy for chopping. Like if you want to lob a limb off or something, tree limb. This one would have a harder time. But what are you doing? What are you using your Bowie knife for? Well, if it's self-defense, you're probably not trying to lob tree limbs down. And it's just like anything else. If you get a heavy mass and you get it going, it's going to be hard to recover from it. It's going to want to go the way it was going. So if you miss with a big knife, you're not going to be able to recover as fast as with a lighter, easier to move knife. So I just thought I'd mention that one, that size matters to some people as far as like knives go. And I don't know how it would work against someone meaning to do you harm, but it kind of reminds me of the Crocodile Dundee, one where a guy pulls out a knife and he goes, "You call that a knife? Now this is a knife." And he pulls out a Bowie knife, and the guy runs off. Now, that's Hollywood. But here's a real life example where, if I'd have been throwing this around or using this one, I could see someone freaking out. Yeah, this has got a long blade on it, but it's pretty narrow compared to, other knives. And here's an SE4, for example. It's not much smaller. It's got a little bit more belly to it, but it's the length. It's about an inch or so less. So all I'm saying on this one is civilians, or civilians, everybody's a civilian now, people that are not used to knives, people that are not into knives and stuff, could easily be intimidated by the size of a knife. And I can't say that you want to keep that in mind, but you know, if somebody comes up, tries to attack you, and all you've got is a toothpick, which one's more intimidating? Well, you can do a lot of damage with this little guy if you know what you're doing. Uh, but you're going to have to get in close. If you look at the edge, again, we lost, you know, about another inch, and we lost a lot of belly. Can't do any chopping with it or anything like that. But this is more of a slicer. It might be able to poke, but again, you know, we're talking about a slip joint. So this is not really, it's not really a defensive weapon. I mean, it could be used as one if it came down to an emergency, you know. So if you're carrying something small, like a small blade, you're less likely to intimidate someone. But this could make a self-defense. It could be a useful self-defense weapon, I think, if it's all you had and you knew what you were doing, because your strike capabilities are much more limited when you've got a small weapon. And I was watching Cold Steel Sword Cane with Lynn Thompson, and he just demonstrated how length, man. You know, you're an old man walking around and you've got a cane and something attacks you, man. If you've got like a sword cane or something like that, you can go right through somebody if they mean you ill, you know. Plus you have you take it, you know, it's an aluminum handle or aluminum shaft. You take that out. That can be used defensively also. So, I don't know. I don't think about using a knife as in self-defense a whole lot, you know. But I do carry one, and that's one of the backups that it can do. Because a lot of times when I'm carrying one of these, I'm not carrying any other means of self-protection other than like a whistle or, you know, stuff like that. And what good is that going to do? Well, it makes some noise, maybe. A whistle is more like if I'm trapped somewhere or I broke my leg, fell down something, you know, and cars are passing by, I might blow on a whistle, hope somebody shows up. But anyway, yeah, as far as Bowie knives go, I wouldn't call this one the most intimidating, but man, if somebody's got that in their hand and you don't know what their intentions are and you're close by, because I didn't even see her. I didn't even know she was there. She was in the car. She hadn't just gotten into it or anything because I'd been walking around the compound for a while. So, yeah, there you go. That's just a little one about the intimidation factor of a big knife. Fortunately, he, you know, the maintenance guy told her that I live here and I'm harmless, which is true. I'm harmless unless you try to harm me, you know. You don't try to harm me, I'm harmless. You try to harm me, you're going to get harmed. But anyways, yeah. So, Peppy lost his feathers. I'm going to fix that. He needs to have at least one feather in his cap. There we go. We got him fixed. Yeah. So, there you go. That's my little story. Fortunately, the cops didn't come up to me. I told the maintenance guy, even though I can carry this unconcealed and everything, I usually conceal a knife, especially a big knife, on me, just because of that. I don't, you know, the people out there that, he's got a knife. Yeah. Was I using it on you? No. What was I attacking? Cardboard? You know? Unfortunately, I wasn't doing a crazy one, you know, where I go crazy stabbing, you know, just throwing it, picking it up, throwing it, you know. And also from that, this tip got a little bit of a chip on it. I reprofiled it, but you can kind of see more of a roll. It didn't really get a chip. It got more of a roll because concrete is rough on knives, man. If you hit concrete with a knife, even German steel is gonna chip or roll. In this case, it rolled a little bit. But I just profiled the tip. Anyways, there you go. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.